Hello everyone, this is an online tutorial for properly citing a reference and troubleshooting for your literature searches. It's designed to give you the basic skills required to perform these literature searches, and it's going to circumvent some of those roadblocks when it pertains to you acquiring those primary literature sources and those supporting articles. We will be doing journal club presentations this semester, thus this is the starting point for that assignment. This also should foster lifelong learning skills. As pharmacists, we should be able to, understand simple methods of accessing up-to-date information so that we may be able to relay the information to our practice and to our patients. So as far as our objectives, we identify the types of references, meaning that we will, identify some secondary and tertiary sources. We'll learn the correct way to cite those references, and we'll be able to attempt a few literature searches online. Okay, so the first we're going to look at the standard journal article. This is your primary literature source. These are the articles that you retrieve from databases like Science Direct and Ovid, which you can access through FAMU's website. First thing you should notice is the structure of the citation. It always begins with the author or authors. Then it moves to the title of the article. Next is the actual journal the article was printed in. In this case, it was the American Journal of Hospital Pharmacy. Then it finishes off with the year was published, the volume number, and the pages to find the article in the journal. Okay, so note the maximum number of authors allowed is actually 3 in the site. 3. So if there are more than 3 authors that contributed to this piece of work, be sure that you indicate that with et al. And et al. Just stands for, it's Latin for and others. Okay, so those authors' names are listed by last name and then first initial of their first name. Okay. Also, please note any spacing, italicized words, and punctuation marks. Okay, and also the shorthand name for the journal. Here it says, if you take a look, it says in italicized form, it says am, then a capital J, and then hosp, and then farm. Instead of the American Journal of Hospital Pharmacy. If you're unfamiliar with these sort of shorthand variations, please pay close attention to the footing and headings of articles, because they usually, are present on every page. Okay, and you can see an example on the page here. You can also look up these journal titles on this website here. If you look at the top, first type in the shorthand title in the search box like so. Then go to journals and series titles. And voila, here it is. Okay, next we have an article from a journal paginated by issue. This format is really similar to the former, but it's used when you have a physical copy of the journal itself opposed to pulling it from an online database. In this case, you must indicate, the issue date, which is May 1st, and is inserted between the volume number and the page numbers. Okay, the letters, editorials, or abstracts. Okay, so you just add in letters, editorials, or abstract at the end of the citation. And in this example, you can see that letter was used. Note, for this class, you will never use a letter, editorial, abstract as your primary literature or journal club. You may only use this as a documentation to support your primary literature. Okay, so you should never do the primary literature journal club on any kind of abstract, okay, because it's not going to give you all the information that you need to effectively, present the journal club, basically. governmental agency publication will be cited as follows. Start with the name of the agency, the title of the publication, the country and year of the data collection, city and state of the name. The city and state, the name of the agency, and the year published. Okay, after that, after the year published, then you should put in the department that published it and its corresponding publication number with its page numbers. It should end with the division of the governmental agency, series number, and the tool used to collect the data and the number. Package insert format is the name of the drug company, then the name of the drug, followed by the city and state of the company, and then that date at the end is the last revision of the package insert. Okay, and lastly, here's an example of a website. Okay, a lot of you know how to use Micrometic, so here's the method for citing individual document. Note the ND stands for no date. It just indicates that the publication date is actually missing from this. As you can see from the aggressive salesman, the most important thing that you can do is activate your Rattler card. Now there are several different ways of searching for literature, but we will cover the most basic and more challenging, but either way you should be able to acquire the article you actually need, okay? First we'll start with PubMed Central. Okay, PubMed Central, it just has a lot of links to free text so that you can actually see the entire article opposed to just looking at the abstract. Okay, so PubMed Central is actually different from the regular PubMed. Make sure you know that. Each one of them will have a link and it'll say full text. On it, you just click it and it should bring up the full text. So let's do a search. Let's say that we wanted to do a literature search on articles that contain the following: CCR5 and stem cells, transplantation, and HIV. You can look in the search box. You can see it up there now. Here, all you have to do is click on the full text link, and then you'll see on the next slide that it actually is going to populate on the screen. It's pretty dirty looking at it from the full text view, so you can always try to look at it from the PDF view. It should be a link on there to click for PDF. As you can see here, the article is now populated on the screen. At the top you see the actual title of the article, and below that you see abstract. And actually, if you scroll down further, which you won't be able to see through the PowerPoint, but you can do it on your own, is you'll be able to see the introduction and then all of the other components of the actual article itself. Now let's say you wanted to look up an article about the HIV infected individual, also known as the Berlin patient. Here's an HIV patient in Europe who has showed positive results of his HIV control from a stem cell transplantation. The name of one of the articles that talked about him, about the study, was titled Long-Term Control of HIV by CCR5, CCR5 Delta 32/Delta 32 stem cell transplantation. Okay. So now let's search. We're going to search long-term control and HIV and CCR5 and stem cell. And as you can see, we actually got the same results that we got from the previous search when we only searched CCR5 and stem cell transplantation and HIV. course, now you have to go to a different source to get this article because PubMed Central doesn't have it. Again, PubMed Central, if it's in PubMed Central, then that means you will actually have access to the full text or PDF version of the article. The PDF version always is put together much nicer than the full text version. Okay, but this is why activating your library card is so important. You can go to famu.edu and then click on the academics link, and then libraries, and then databases A to Z. And then there should be a alphabet that pops up. Click on S, and then click on Science Direct when you see that on the screen. On the home page of Science Direct, let's just search the way we did previously. Since we already know the name of the article, we can just, choose words that are contained in the title, so that way we just narrow it down to find the actual, article that we're looking for. But now let's just say we knew the article was in the New England Journal of Medicine. We can actually scroll down to see if that journal is actually contained in this database. Okay, so in this case, the New England Journal of Medicine does not have any articles in here. So now you can really try to search through some of the other search engines. You can navigate to Ovid, which is Oscar, Violin, India, David. That's through the FAMU database, just like Science Direct, and you actually search for it the same way. So instead of clicking an S on that screen, you actually click an O, and the Ovid will pop up on the screen. But for example purposes, let's just say you went to Ovid and you still couldn't find that article that we were just searching for. So what could you do next? If you knew more about the article, that would help. You could search Science Direct and Ovid using information like the author's name, title of the article, or some of the components of the article's title like we did before. You could also put the title of the journal in there to narrow it down some more, the ISSN number, which is usually attached to the citation, which you'll see in the PubMed, volume and page numbers. You can also use this information in FAMU's e-newsletter and citation tracker. Okay, you can also access this by navigating to the famu.edu, then clicking on academics, and then libraries, and then click library catalog, and then there should be something on that says e-journals and newspapers. Once you click on e-journals and newspapers, you'll see a link for capital SFX citation linker. You can type in all that information you have, the author's name, title, article, journal title, ISSN number, anything that you have on it, and it will narrow it down for you, and you can submit it, and the article should show up if FAMU actually has it in the database. So what if you still can't get the article? What do you do next? You can try the interlibrary loan system. This is a system that allows FAMU to borrow articles from other institutions. You can request almost any article here by navigating to it via famu.edu, clicking on academics, and then libraries, and then interlibrary loan. And then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of that page, there should be a link to a capital ILL online request form. Okay, this will take you to the interlibrary loan system, and if you don't have a login, you must create an account by entering the information. But be sure that you have your student ID number because you actually need that to register. Okay, once you have an account, you'll be able to put in a request for the articles or other media. For articles, you can request a hard copy or electronic form. The majority are free of charge, but there are some that you may have to pay a few dollars for. It really just all depends. Just make sure when you're doing your request, you're as thorough as possible when it comes to entering this information. Please enter all the information you have, ISSN number, title, journal, volume number, issue number, page numbers, authors, months, even the DOI number, which is a digital object identifier. Actually, you could have used a DOI in some of the previous searches also, but you must, list all the information about the article because the library may cancel your request because of lack of information. Okay, they may just have a hard time finding it. And you don't want to waste that valuable time because it can take up to a week or two for them to furnish the article sometimes. Another way that the interlibrary loan system will cancel your request is they send you a message stating that the article that you're actually requesting is on the shelf in the science and research library. Really, you can bypass many of those previous steps and just go directly there. It's located directly across the parking lot from the College of Pharmacy, if you didn't know. Go to the library. There are several volumes of several different kinds of journals. For instance, like the New England Journal of Medicine, right there on the shelf. Some of the journals actually look like huge reference books, so just be aware that all of them won't be small, in magazine form. But there are they do have some of the journals that are that small. You can actually, make photocopies of the actual articles out of these journals. They're usually up to date to the last month or issue, and they're usually in full color. So, if it's January, they'll probably have the most recent issue for December, right there for you. Be sure that you have your Rattler card preloaded with money if you want to make some photocopies. Last time I checked, Science and Research Library didn't have any means of loading money onto your card. If you need help, always ask those librarians in there for assistance because they're always very, very helpful.